Hey, what's up, guys? Got another new podcast here for you today. My name is Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
And in today's podcast, we're going to be breaking down and kind of giving and sharing our thoughts on the national championship game for the Alabama Crimson Tide as they take on Ohio State Buckeyes. This is podcast number 8 now, and I know that a decent number of these podcasts have actually been Alabama videos, so I figured with that being said, we'd go ahead and continue that trend here with this video, breaking down the national championship. Now, I really am kind of looking forward to this game. I'm excited to see how it goes, what we look like, and I'm anxious to watch this game because I think it's going to be a really good one, actually. And Ohio State, I'll be honest, if you guys watched my last video about Alabama and congratulating Devontae Smith, I said in that video, as well as in the video talking about the playoff breakdowns, I did not see Ohio State winning against Clemson. As a matter of fact, I thought it was going to be a blowout. So the fact that we're playing Ohio State, in my opinion, is pretty shocking. I fully expected to be playing Clemson and getting ready for another game against them. But here we go.
They smashed Clemson.
Yeah, but here we go, Ohio State Buckeyes. So, as far as preparation for the game, I think it's going to be a much different game than the one against Clemson will be, mostly because I feel like Clemson's defense is better than Ohio State's. But Ohio State definitely has some athletes as well.
Yeah.
And they've got some quickness for sure. So I feel like this is going to be a really interesting game. And I really think it's going to come down to a shootout.
You're looking at another probably quarterback that's going to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those are the kind of quarterbacks that Alabama seems to struggle with over the years.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Joe Burrow. They lost to him.
Uh-huh. Yeah, pretty hands down last year.
So Alabama definitely needs to come prepared because I look at Justin Fields and think, man, that guy's got some serious talent.
Yeah.
He's gonna be tough. And Ohio State's got a lot of speed on that offensive side.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a common trend for them, I think. Last time they beat Alabama in the championship was because they had a run game with Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, and I think Trey Sermon, I think is his name, number 8, he's going to be a freaking train, and he's going to be difficult to stop as well, which is also why I say that I think really what it comes down to is this is going to be a shootout. Because I think our offense is the best it's ever been since Nick Saban took over. And so I have no doubt, or at least I would like to think that we won't have too much trouble scoring. And I don't think they'll have too much trouble scoring either. So I see this being a back and forth slugfest of two offenses going back up and down the field.
You took it to Notre Dame, and I really wasn't surprised by that because it just seems like every time Notre Dame's in it, they go in there and get smashed. So it's...
Yep. We smashed them last time, too, so...
It's like...
I fully expected to do the same, and we did, pretty much.
Yeah, so...
we didn't beat them by as much as we were projected to, but it wasn't ever a close game.
No.
This is a totally different animal than Notre Dame, though. The last time we played Ohio State was in the playoff game, and we lost to them when they had Ezekiel Elliott. And this game is going to be another really tough one, and I think, we're going to have our hands full, to say the least. I feel like Justin Fields If he plays like he did last week, you know, they're not going to have any problems scoring. And I mean, really, what it comes down to too is their running game is just so good that, you know, I mean, he's not having to, you know, dish out every single, you know, it's not like if he's not throwing the ball incredibly well that they can't score because their running game is serious. And our defense has struggled this year. Probably one of the worst in terms of efficiency. Probably one of the worst defenses Alabama's had under Nick Saban.
Yeah.
We haven't played that well this season. But, you know, at the same time, it's like even on the years we had a great defense. Generally, when we get to the playoffs and we play another great offense and a Heisman quarterback and stuff, I mean, usually the defense, it's the same thing. I mean, it's a struggle for them.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily a situation where this is new. I mean, the defense plays great when we go against teams with lesser athletes and stuff, but then when we start playing against teams like Ohio State, like Clemson, where they have as many athletes as we do, well, then it's not as easy to stop people, and as a result, I mean, sometimes we lose games. And I feel like this is definitely a game that is a losable game for us. I mean, I really think Ohio State is going to be a very tough opponent, and we're going like I said,
they always are.
Yeah, they're never. It seems like they're never really an easy out, and I expect this year to be no different.
I mean, difference is that it's not Urban Meyer coaching the team this time.
Yeah, but I mean, this other guy's come in and. You know, he had him more than ready to play against Clemson.
Yeah, so. I honestly wonder if they really even lost a step with him stepping in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least initially, he's still got all of, like, Urban Meyer's recruits and stuff still in there. So, I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of like Steve Kerr taking over the Warriors or whatever when they got Steph and Clay and Draymond and all these people. It's like, well, shoot, I mean,
I could coach that team to a lot of wins.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, how much work do you really have to do? And especially in the college where it's all about recruiting, when you're going against schools that don't even have half the 5-star recruits and stuff that you do, I mean, you're gonna have a hard time
not winning.
So. But with that being said, I mean, he's done a good job to this point, and they have not lost a step.
I mean, like, some would argue that Ohio State shouldn't have been allowed in it, but they certainly have taken advantage of the opportunities that they were handed.
No, yeah. And, I mean, really, I think a lot of that just came from, I mean, they didn't play well at all against Northwestern, so I think a lot of people were kind of taking that game.
I thought it was because they didn't play enough games.
Well, it was that, but it was compiled by the fact that they looked really crappy against Northwestern. And that combined with the fact that they didn't play nearly as many games as, you know, Alabama had played 11 games going into the championship. So, I mean, before they even went to the playoffs, it was like they had played 11 games, I think, going into the SEC championship or after the SEC championship, they had 11 games played, and Ohio State had only played 6. So it's like, well, there's that, and then you compile that with the fact that they, you know, looked really crappy for the most part against Northwestern. Well, I mean, those two combined, and people are like, what the hell is this team even doing in here? So I understand that, but in some respects, I think Ohio State, I mean, they're a really, really solid team, and they're proving it. As far as what we need to do to beat them,
stop the run game.
I mean, I don't think stopping the run game is going to happen. I mean, if we can, great. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But what I would say is, if you can stop the run, I think you just let Fields either win or lose the game. Because what I saw in the Northwestern game tells me that, you know, if you make him have to throw it and stuff like that, he's a good player for sure. I mean, he wasn't almost a Heisman candidate for nothing. He's really good. But all I'm saying is I'll take my chances as opposed to, Northwestern giving up 331 yards to the running back. I mean, I don't want to see that because when you're doing that, you're essentially saying it doesn't matter who the quarterback is because good luck. I mean, when you're giving up 10 yards a carry, essentially, you're going to have a hard time no matter who's at the quarterback position as long as they can hand the ball off.
Yeah.
But what we need to do defensively is make the rushing hard and then just make Fields beat us with his arm. And offensively, all we need to do is just keep doing what we've been doing, essentially. I mean, that's what needs to happen. We just need to keep doing what we've been doing. I think, I think it's going to be a really tough game. If I had to say and I had to pick, I think we're going to win. Just because I think that Justin Fields is a good quarterback, but I don't think that he is as good as, I don't know. I think that we can take advantage of him, and I think we could possibly force some turnovers. And I think our offense is really, really good. And so
that's why I say the main key to the game will be stopping the run. That's the main reason I say that is because, I mean,
I agree.
I think if it ends up being a situation like it did in the Steelers-Browns game where Ben was stuck throwing it 68 times and, they get down early and he's forced to have to do that, it could easily be a long day.
For Ohio State, yeah. And for Alabama, for that matter, because, I mean, really when we do best is when we can mix the run in with Najee Harris and throw the ball downfield with people because the running game opens up the deep ball because they start loading the box and then you throw it deep. And that's kind of how we've done so well throughout the season.
And I'm hearing Waddle might return for this game as well, so, yep. I mean, that could be pretty helpful.
Yeah, that could definitely be beneficial. But I don't think, him playing or not is going to decide the game. I think we've done just fine without him. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want him to play. If he's available, then, hell yeah, hopefully we can have him. But if he's not, I don't think it's the end of the, I don't think it's the end of the line. I think there's plenty of other people who have stepped up in his absence, like Mechie, for instance. I mean, the guy didn't even really get targeted that often with Waddle out there, but since Waddle's been gone, the guy really stepped up. Mechie did, as well as Billingsley as well. He's seeing more targets than he ever did. So it's pretty great, pretty good to see. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really close game, even if we win. I don't think it's going to be the Notre Dame game where we were basically ahead the entire game and it wasn't even close. I think even if we win, it's going to be a hard-fought win. I could see us losing this game very easily. I think we're going to have to stop number 8. And if we can at least contain number 8 somewhat, then I think we have a good chance. Yeah. But if number 8 is just running down our throats and running wild the entire night, we could easily lose this game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with you. Stopping the run is the key to the game. But my only thing is that I don't think we're going to do it. So, with that being said, can we do enough other things right to still win?
Yeah.
Because Ohio State, I mean, they got a lot of speed. They got big guys up front, and it's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, they have a really good offensive line as well. Ohio State does. So, it's not like it's not like, I mean, I'm not saying the guy's not talented, but at the same time, you know, if I'm not getting touched till I'm 5 yards down the field, I could probably amass some yards as well. I mean, if I'm not even getting touched till I'm part of the way down the field, well, that's going to greatly
And the cool thing about
increase my yardage.
the Sermon dude, number 8, you know, he's just a huge guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost kind of reminds me of like a Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I was going to
person.
say, he reminds me exactly of Derrick Henry or even Najee Harris in some respects. I mean, it's just like, you're going to, you know, one guy's going to take down that truck? I don't think so.
I mean,
Eddie Lacy,
guys
Trent
like
Richardson,
that are
same
just,
thing.
Those guys are just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like guys that are power backs that just run people over.
Yeah.
Those are the best running backs to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that, you know, we'll probably have some Derrick Henry moments of people getting run over by number 8. I mean, I have no doubt. That's why I say the key is going to be stopping the run, but I don't think we're going to do it. So I think we're going to have to do enough other things right to make up for that fact, because if we don't, it could be a long night. But, I mean, I also think in some respects it's like we talk about with, like in basketball and football and stuff. I mean, when you get against players like that, you're not going to stop them. You just try to keep everybody else from going off as well. But I think it's kind of the same thing with this guy. It's like, I really don't think that we're just going to completely, you know, bottle him up for 40 yards on the night.
No way.
I think he's going to have a big game. It's just going to be a matter of, can we let him have a big game but do enough defensively to stop other people, or is he going to go crazy and
as well as everybody else out there?
Yeah, as well as the quarterback lighting us up and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of to wrap up this video, in closing, I will take Alabama in this game. I do think we'll be able to do enough to beat Ohio State. I think collectively we're probably a better overall team, and I think that our offense is capable of keeping up in a shootout, and as a result of that, you know, I think even if it comes down to a shootout and we can't stop anybody on defense, I still think we have a good chance to win this game. And so I'm going to go ahead and take Alabama in this game. But like I said, even if we do win, it will be a close game for sure, I think. I don't think it'll be a blowout either way. I also don't think we'll get blown out. Not saying it couldn't happen. I mean, last time we played them, I think we ended up losing 35-17 or something. And things just kind of got up. You know, they started okay, and it was close, and then things just kind of got out of hand. And we struggled offensively. But
I think that was against LSU too, right?
No, against LSU, things started out horribly. We were down 35-14 or something at halftime before. I mean, we were up.
In a championship, or was it?
What are you talking about? Against
Oh,
Burrow?
I thought you were saying you got blown out in a championship game.
Against Ohio State, we lost 35-17, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Or actually, no, that may have been the Clemson game. Actually, I think yeah, because the one against Ohio State, it was a back and forth. It was a back and forth game the whole time.
Oh, I was thinking of the one that that LSU beat you 9-6 or something.
LSU beat us 9-6 the one time.
But I don't know what I was thinking there, but it was as far as
42-35 was the inning score last time we played them.
Who?
Alabama and Ohio State.
Huh.
That was when Urban Meyer was there, and it was the first year of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
But then Ohio State went on to throttle Oregon in the finals and win the championship.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean, but that, like I said, I mean, it could very well be that kind of game where the ending score is 48-43, 48-41, 45-38. I mean, I think it will be that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Alabama to win this time, but I could see us losing. I'm not saying that's out of the question.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I really think this could go either way. But I'm going to take Alabama just because, I just don't see... Alabama doesn't generally lose to teams twice and make the same mistakes. And I think they'll be... Not saying they weren't prepared last time they played them, but I think they'll be better prepared for what Ohio State is really good at this time. Because I'm sure they'll be watching a lot of film from the last time that Alabama played them.
Yeah. Well, they won't. Yeah.
I think the offense from the year that they beat them with Ezekiel Elliott probably isn't all that much different from what they're running right now.
No.
With Sermon.
Yeah, probably not.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and that year they had, what's his name? I think J.T. Barrett was the one that beat us, and it was a similar thing. I mean, he can run, he can throw, and they have a good running game. So it's like, well, essentially it's kind of the same thing. It's just really a matter of, do you consider Sermon better than Elliott? Do you consider J.T. Barrett better than, or whoever it was?
I think Sermon could. I don't know if Sermon's better than Elliott, but I could definitely see him as just as good.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we'll see, though. I mean, like I said, I think it'll be a close game. I'm looking forward to watching it just as a football fan in general. I'm looking forward to watching it. And one way or another, with the COVID and everything that happened this year, or last year, I guess now, because it's 2021, but with everything that happened this season, and at times we weren't even sure we were going to get one, I'm proud of the guys for showing out and making it to the championship game again this year. Hopefully we can win, but if not, hey.
Props to Ohio State.
Props to Ohio State. They're, I definitely think one way or another, they already proved to me last week that they're for real and not to be taken lightly. By beating Clemson, because, like I said, I thought they were going to get blown out.
And in the fashion that they did, I think it was like 49-28 or something.
Yeah, they handled them. And I mean, I expected that to happen to them. I expected them to be the one that got throttled. So, well done to Ohio State. But, we'll see what happens. One way or another, excited for the game. Bennett's going to be watching it in HD. So he's looking forward to another Ohio State.
I'll probably watch some of it, but I don't know if I'll stick around the whole game.
Yeah. Well, if it's an entertaining game, I definitely would. I mean, I would love to see another Alabama-Florida, Alabama-Ole Miss type matchup where it's just back and forth the whole game long and we win. I mean, that would be ideal. A great game as well as us coming out on top. That's what I'd love to see. But we'll see. Like I said, it'll be tough. So, anyways, if you guys like the content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Check out our other podcasts and videos, as well as our reviews and previews and everything else for college, as well as NFL and NBA and baseball, UFC, everything else like that. So, with that being said, guys, Bryson,
Bennett,
we'll see you guys in the next video or podcast.